When there was only one telephone, it had no value. It's like when you only have one lawyer in town, he doesn't have anybody else to sue. When the millionth telephone was installed, the first telephone was 1,000,000 times more valuable than the day it was invented. Knowledge, ideas, technology, that's where Arkansas has to go. To get there, we have to refocus our educational system. Quite simply, we're talking about instilling our people with the capacity to learn complex, job-specific skills and to be able to do it more than once. Why? Because today's junior high students can expect 3 to 5 career changes during their lifetimes. We have to raise expectations to demand more of our schools, our students, ourselves. The formula is simple. First, raise high school graduation rates and the quality of the high school diplomas. Then, make sure that the students we send to college finish with a degree in hand. Depending on whose numbers you believe, between 72 and 81% of Arkansas high school Arkansas high school students will graduate. That's higher than the national average. But even in the best case scenario, nearly 1 in 5 of our young people don't make it to graduation. That's way too many people. In a world that values knowledge, ideas, and technologies, those high school dropouts have increasingly dire prospects. Only a few will claw their way out of poverty. So goal number 1, increase your high school graduation rate while insisting on a demanding curriculum. But understand this, all high school diplomas are not created equal. What the technology-driven economy values most is not those students who depend on rote memorization and recall, but critical thinkers who can adapt and learn new skills very quickly. Students who know how to think, not just what to think. To get there, we need a curriculum that emphasizes the critical thinking skills fostered by math, science, and engineering. That starts with embracing the concept that every child can learn and that our children are capable of more than we've asked them in the past. The SMART core curriculum is the key to preparing our students for success in college as well as success at work in an economy that values agile, teachable minds. It requires 4 years of English, 3 years of social studies, 3 years of science, and 4 years of math. Algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, and a higher level math course like calculus or statistics. Tough, but not impossible. And critical to our future. In the next 10 years, 62% of entry-level jobs in America will require proficiency in algebra, geometry, data interpretation, probability, and statistics. If your schools aren't ready to proliferate the SMART core curriculum for high school students, ask yourself, why not? Better yet, ask your principal or your superintendent. Many of them are at your table. If the answer is our children aren't ready, then we have to make them ready. Our children can't be left to fall behind. Now, some students will struggle, and for those students, we need resources to help them reach their potential, but we must push them to reach higher. That brings us to the other greater challenge. Today, Arkansas is ranked 49th in the nation in the percentage of adults over the age of 25 who hold a bachelor's degree. Only 16, as you've seen, out of 100 incoming high school freshmen will finish college in 10 years with either an associate's or a bachelor's degree. Why? 2 hurdles stand out. The first goes back to the high school curriculum. If kids aren't entering college prepared to do college work, they won't succeed. Remediation can be the kiss of death in many instances to a college career. Second hurdle is financial. Many students can afford that first year of college, but more and more are discovering they can't afford to stay in school long enough to finish and get their degree. And we're actively addressing the financial issues, making a record amount of scholarship funding available to Arkansans, while at the same time developing incentives for colleges and universities to graduate more and different kinds of students. We want to see more transfers from 2-year to 4-year schools, more degrees for minority and non-traditional students, and more students pursuing science and math degrees. So goal number 2, encourage and promote college attendance and graduation in your community. Mentoring, particularly from the business community, helps students make the connection between college and future success. We cannot ask our students to do more if we're not willing to do more too. Community involvement in education is vital to that success. It begins in communities with elected officials, business leaders, principals, parents, superintendents, and college presidents. It begins with raising expectations and school achievement, making those schools responsive to the needs of the entire community, students, parents, and businesses. It requires an understanding that education no longer has a finish line, but has evolved into a lifelong journey. We must be willing to stand up, reach out through communication and cooperation, as you've already heard, to take our schools to that proverbial next level. When the business community invests in your schools, you enhance the opportunity for success. When your nearest college president talks on a regular basis with your local school superintendents, you enhance the opportunity for success. When your mayor and your county judge sit down and talk with educators, you enhance that opportunity for success. When a strong community mechanism like a Chamber of Commerce brings your stakeholders together to brainstorm ideas and opportunities, you increase the chances for success. When you prioritize improving your workforce today, right now, you enhance the opportunity for success. If you need an example of how it's worked already, look at Conway. The Hewlett-Packard announcement was 15 years in the making. While community planning, determination, and focus made that a reality, you can't discount the impact that regional collaboration had on HP's decision. Faulkner County would not have prevailed without Pulaski County and Saline County working with them. If you're willing to succeed regionally, you enhance your opportunity for success. The old model for economic development, that a freshly poured concrete slab on the edge of town would attract growth, will not prevail in the 21st century economy. Arkansas's future lies in building a workforce that can compete for good jobs and grow its own. In the past 10 years, Arkansas has made tremendous progress in education at every level. You already heard some of it. We're now the national model for increasing access and enrollment in advanced placement courses. Actually, New Hampshire tied Arkansas for first in the nation. They said we tied them, but that's not the way it was. We have now funded pre-kindergarten education at a level that guarantees that every at-risk child in Arkansas starts school ready to learn. And wait a minute, people, what's the importance of that? You see, it not only helps those kids that are directly affected by that pre-K. Not only helps them because it gets them ready to learn, it helps all those other kids in that class who didn't need the pre-K or got it in some other form or got it at home, because instead of the teacher spending half of his or her time catching the class up, the whole class can elevate at a faster pace since they're all ready to begin with, or very few are not ready. And that's cumulative. It builds from the first to the second to the fifth to the ninth to the 12th grade, to the point where when you get out, you're at a much higher level, and the remediation costs that you as taxpayers are paying now in college go way down, because when they enter college, they don't need remediation. It's a long, systemic answer. But I digress. Other achievements educationally, Quality Counts places us in the top 10 states based on education policies and student achievement. Who'd ever thought we'd have been in the top 10 in education in something by a national ranking like that? And yet, that's where we are. This year, for the first time ever, more than half of Arkansas students in each grade scored at or above their appropriate grade level on the April benchmark test, and every single Every single grade showed improvement in performance. Achieve Incorporated has recognized Arkansas as one of 16 states leading the nation in setting higher voluntary standards for student achievement. After years of lagging at or near the bottom in every measurable category in education, Arkansas is on the move, but we are very far from where we need to be.